डालो राज करो की नीति का ही तो अंग है। फूट डालो राज करो, ये कांग्रेस की नीति रही है और उसको ही राहुल गांधी जी अपना रहे हैं। लेकिन जनता समझ चुकी है, जनता सबक सिखाएगी कांग्रेस को इन चुनाव में भी।
मिस्टर खड़गे has called योगी आदित्यनाथ टेररिस्ट को आतंकवादी बताया, जिस किस्म की स्टेटमेंट कैसे रिएक्ट करते हैं आप?
देखिए, खड़गे जी को भी सभ्य भाषा बोलनी चाहिए। मुख्यमंत्री हैं, चुने हुए मुख्यमंत्री हैं उत्तर प्रदेश के। चलो।
Well, the BJP has taken strong exception to Rahul Gandhi's remarks, and the Congress, remember earlier, Congress party leader Rahul Gandhi had said that the BJP and RSS want to get rid of B.R. Ambedkar's constitution, and that's the reason Prime Minister Modi has also even called the caste census as an attempt to divide the nation. There has been a huge controversy over the issue of constitution, and the BJP and the Congress party have engaged in a war of words. But now the BJP going ahead and has filed a complaint with the Election Commission asking for an FIR to be registered against Congress MP Rahul Gandhi as well as against Mallikarjun Kharge. Well, what we know is that the BJP in its complaint has said that the Election Commission needs to restrain Rahul Gandhi's lies, that he's been propagating lies by making such derogatory statements against Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge. Well, the BJP has told the Election Commission that Rahul Gandhi had said that the BJP and RSS want to end constitution, and that's a blatant lie. My colleague Aishwarya Jain also joins us on the broadcast here. He is getting us more details about what has been said in the BJP's complaint to the Election Commission, and also the BJP, of course, in that press conference also we've heard BJP General Secretary Arun Singh as well as Union Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal hitting out at the Congress party and clearly saying that an FIR needs to be registered against Rahul Gandhi. Take us through the details here of the contents of this complaint.
Well, 5-member delegation of the Bharatiya Janata Party met the Chief Election Commissioner at the ECI headquarters today under the chairmanship of Arjun Ram Meghwal, Law Minister. And in a 10-page complaint that has been filed by the ECI against Rahul Gandhi's remarks in Maharashtra and Jharkhand, along with Mallikarjun Kharge remarks, two important points coming out. Number one, of course, the FDI that Rahul Gandhi was speaking about. Rahul Gandhi had spoken in the past, according to the Bharatiya Janata Party, that most of the FDI worth rupees 70,000 crore had been shifted from Maharashtra to Gujarat because it is a BJP-ruled state. And the Bharatiya Janata Party has presented its facts forward that more than Gujarat, there was massive FDI that has been invested in the state of Maharashtra itself, and that is a complete lie in terms of what Rahul Gandhi has been speaking in several of his rallies in Maharashtra. Apart from it, an important point that also the Bharatiya Janata Party raised about Rahul Gandhi speaking that Bharatiya Janata Party is trying to crush the Constitution of India. Those people, who wants jobs in the teaching, those who wanted to be a vice chancellor, those who wanted to get jobs in colleges, universities, they should be a part of the RSS and they can easily get those jobs. This is something that the BJP has stated, that it's absolutely baseless comments that Rahul Gandhi had made. And, the divisive politics, something that the Congress is playing about what they say about Maharashtra and Gujarat and dividing the states out of states against the states, caste against the caste, and therefore the reason perhaps it is under the section 353 of the BRS, the FIR should be registered against Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge is something that the Bharatiya Janata Party has demanded. They have also demanded the Election Commission of India to reprimand Rahul Gandhi over his comments and to ask him to stop spreading these lies in several of his rallies in Maharashtra as well. A strong delegation just met and stepped outside the Election Commission of India. Now it depends on the ECI whether they will act upon the complaint that has now been filed by the BJP or not.
Okay, and we do understand not just Rahul Gandhi, other Congress party leaders have also now been towing the line on protecting the constitution. Rahul Gandhi, of course, has been reiterating, even in rallies that he addressed in Jharkhand, that BJP RSS want to end the constitution. But we are here, look, we are here to protect the constitution and we won't let it happen. Other Congress leaders have also been saying the same. But now the BJP has gone one step ahead. They have taken strong exception to the language that has been used by Rahul Gandhi and even Mallikarjun Kharge, and said that an FIR needs to be filed. Any reaction so far from the Congress party that has come in on this? What is the Congress party really saying?
Well, the Congress party on their side had been saying since morning that it is the Bharatiya Janata Party who is playing the divisive politics. The ads that had been put out by the Bharatiya Janata Party today in Maharashtra as well, and what the BJP has been saying is absolutely wrong. The Congress has been saying that the context in which Rahul Gandhi had spoken and the advertisements about the the backward caste is something that was in some other context at different era of the country at point of time when Indira Gandhi was leading, and something Bharatiya Janata Party had not reflected in a right manner, in a right portrait. So something the Congress has been defending on. In fact, the Congress has been saying that the facts that Rahul Gandhi had put forward, according to them, is absolutely right, and it is the BJP who has been playing divisive politics. Prime Minister has been using communal statements, and it has all started from Yogi Adityanath. So war of words had already erupted before, but BJP taking now step ahead and going to ECI complaint against the Congress party is something that is a forward step. Now whether ECI will react to the demands of the Bharatiya Janata Party or will take some steps is something.
Okay, whether the ECI would take any action on that, that of course remains to be seen. Well, we do understand it's the poll season, but this very issue of protecting, safeguarding the constitution is nothing new. Well, this is an old issue, and the BJP and the Congress party continue to trade charges. Rahul Gandhi time and again has been reiterating that it's the BJP, even attacking the RSS, has said that both BJP and RSS want to end the constitution, but we are here, the India bloc is here, especially the Congress party that wants to safeguard the constitution, and we won't let the BJP and the RSS to succeed. All right. Well, that's the latest that's coming in at this point in time. We'll keep an eye on the developments here. Meanwhile, some more news that we're tracking at this point in time. Well, this is from Karnataka. Huge controversy has erupted over Karnataka Minister Zameer Ahmed's derogatory remark on Union Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy. Well, the JDS has now launched a massive attack on the Congress party over the racist remark and asked if the party would even call Mallikarjun Kharge the same, as he is also a Karnataka. Hitting back, the JDS has said that the people of the state would give a fitting response to the racist slur and demanded Congress to sack the minister. The JDS has demanded that the Congress government remove Khan from the cabinet for his remark. Union Minister Kiran Rijiju also slammed the abusive remark while equating it to South Indians look like African statement by Sam Pitroda ahead of the Lok Sabha elections. Well, now BJP leader Amit Malviya has slammed the comments as well, saying that the Congress wants to divide the country based even on the color of the skin of the people.
I do not know about that, but if once I see it, then I can react. I'm not sure about it.
So 2021 is
see, if anybody has violated the law, then they'll have to face the consequences. I do not know exactly what you are saying, so we will look into it and we'll check up and see whether there's any truth to this.
Zameer Ahmed making racial abuse against Kumaraswamy is totally unacceptable. And Zameer Ahmed should apologize to Kumaraswamy for having done this. This only shows the culture of Zameer Ahmed. And this they are doing for the reason that they are losing all the 3 by-elections in Karnataka, and also they are faring very badly in Maharashtra Assembly elections.
Well, we also have political analyst and supporter of the Congress party, Mr. Syed Asad Abbas, on the broadcast here. We have Prashant GS, spokesperson of the BJP unit in Karnataka, on the broadcast. Thank you so much, Mr. Prashant GS, as well as Syed Asad Abbas, for joining us here on NDTV. Mr. Abbas, if I could start with you first, what would you say on the remarks on the racist slur that has been made by the Congress minister in Karnataka? Should anybody defend him?
Well, absolutely not. As a matter of fact, if you've heard the statement of Shri Dinesh Gundu Raoji, who happens to be the former president of Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee, also an incumbent minister in the government of Karnataka, he stated if anybody has violated any law, he shall face the consequences. As a matter of fact, not just that, even Priyank Kharge, who also happens to be Mallikarjun Kharge's son, who is the All India Congress president, he is also the minister here in government of Karnataka. He said that the Congress party distances themselves from the same statement. As a matter of fact, not just that, even the senior leaders shall speak to him and necessary action will be taken. Also, as a matter of fact, I've always believed with great power comes great responsibility and equal accountability. And also, the BJP should be accountable. As a matter of fact, we've heard many times BJP leaders...
Do you think, Mr. Abbas, that is what the JDS's demand is, that the Congress minister should be sacked for he's made this specific comment, a racist slur on the union minister. And do you think if that is proved, the minister should be removed from his post?
The fact of the matter, like I previously mentioned, Dinesh Gundu Raoji and also Priyank Kharge has said that the Congress party has distanced themselves from the same statement. Also, an individual statement cannot be attributed as the Congress party statement. Not just that. As a matter of fact, if you look at the whole length of the political arena, there have been statements from BJP leaders. In fact, including Modi ji, who said 50 crore ki girlfriend. Not just that, he called Jersey cow to Sonia Gandhi.
There has been a lot of debate on all of that, of course. There has been a lot of debate on the statements that have been made by leaders in the past. But yes, let's focus on what is happening right now. I mean, it's the Congress party minister who's in the dock for the comments, for the derogatory comments he's made. Well, all right. Let me take one response from Mr. Prashant GS also. I'll come back to you, Mr. Syed Abbas. Mr. Prashant GS, we do understand the BJP has condemned the remarks made by the Congress minister in Karnataka. Union Minister Kiran Rijiju, Amit Malviya, all have said in one tone that the remarks need to be condemned. What is your opinion? How do you think the remarks that have been made by the...
statement should never have been made, and it's really condemnable that a person holding a minister's post has used such a racial slur, and to defend it saying that somebody from BJP is nothing doing. This is an action of Congress. Congress has always supported them because Sam Pitroda made this statement before the election, and we can't repeat on national television what all he spoke about South Indians and people from the Northeast and so on and so forth. And Congress promptly, what did they do? Before the election, as a jumla, they removed him from the post. And promptly, as promised to Pitroda, as soon as the elections got over, he was back in the post. Which means, for Congress, all these statements are only an eyewash. Neither Mallikarjun Kharge nor Sonia Gandhi, and never will Rahul Gandhi or Priyanka Gandhi come out and give a stiff rebuke to Zameer Ahmed and say, look, this is condemnable, and he will be sacked. They will never do that. In fact, I'm waiting for the troll minister Priyank Kharge.
But they're saying, Mr. Syed Abbas, I was just speaking to, he's saying that the Congress party has taken note of it. They're going to act on it after looking into the complaint. Do you think they're delaying the matter for long? The remark was made yesterday.
The police should have filed an FIR by now.
Yes, I think the question is asked me.
No, Mr. Abbas, I'll just come to you. I'll just come to you.
The police must have already filed an FIR by now because they are going behind innocent people for meme creators and some tweets, but whereas a sitting minister is able to make this statement and get away only because of the vote bank politics of the Congress.
Is it the vote bank politics of the Congress party? That is what you are eyeing, Mr. Abbas? Please respond.
Yes, definitely. I'd like to respond to this. The fact of the matter is, the BJP spokesperson points about Sam Pitroda ji. The fact of the matter, they need to reflect on their own. He also mentioned that, what the statement made by Sam Pitroda, action was taken against him. He was removed from his post. But what about our own leaders who made BJP leaders? Like Mr. Kiran Rijiju. Sir, allow me to, don't get rattled. Please allow me to answer. Kiran Rijiju has made a statement.
Okay, Mr. Prashant GS, let him respond. Let Mr. Abbas respond. Okay, you were saying Sam Pitroda was removed from his position, but of course, this is also a fact that he was reinstated just months after quitting.
Kiran Rijiju in the parliament made fun of Renuka Chaudhary, who's a sitting member of parliament. He said he compared her laughter to Ravana's sister. Was that right? 50 crore ki girlfriend, misogynist statement made by a BJP leader. What about that? And what about hybrid bacha being called to Rahul Gandhi? Well, last one, ma'am. What about calling Jersey cow to Sonia Gandhi? I've always believed with great power there is great responsibility.
What all has been said in the past, of course, well, that's a fact, of course, but all has been said in the past. We do understand action has been taken in some matters. It hasn't been, but yes, there has been these controversial statements that were made then. There has been a huge face-off between the Congress and the BJP then also. But yes, we are right now focusing on what Mr. Zameer Ahmed has said. And if the Congress party supporter here as well, Mr. Syed Abbas, he is saying that, if the charges are proven, action will be taken against him. If that happens, well, all right, we'll be waiting for that. Well, meanwhile, thank you so much for speaking to us, Mr. Syed Abbas, as well as Mr. Prashant GS for coming here on the broadcast. Well, with that, it's time for a short break here. We'll be right back with more news and updates.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro. World's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Download any single ID partner app, link your card and earn reward with top brand.
Get it free with single ID.
It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con. Only on NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
Now, a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president.
Donald triumphs. What does Trump's win mean for America, for the world, for the wars, and for India-US relations? Non-stop coverage on NDTV. Top analysts and voices from the ground. Extensive coverage on NDTV.
We reached an agreement on patrolling.
Welcome back after the break. We have some breaking news coming in from Manipur. At this point in time, we are learning there has been a massive exchange of fire between security forces and suspected terrorists in Manipur's Jiribam. At least 11 suspected terrorists have been killed in the firing by security forces as per sources. My colleague Ratnadeep joining us on the broadcast here, getting us more on that. Ratnadeep, 11 terrorists we are learning have been killed in this firing between the forces and the suspected terrorists.
That's right. In fact, what we are picking up from our sources and among all the security forces who operate in that area, now this incident had taken place around 2:30 to 3 p.m. This afternoon. This incident took place near Boro Bekha police station under Jiribam district. Remember, Jiribam saw another spark in violence for the past couple of days. A woman from the tribal community was allegedly raped, shot dead, and then set ablaze. And after that, there have been tension in the area. Now, in this police station, remember, a few months back, there was another attack. And therefore, after that, all the security forces used to jointly operate in that area. But what you're hearing is that near this police station, there was this group of very heavily armed militants from a tribal group. They surrounded the area. They launched an attack. And in the retaliatory exchange of fire, which was led by the CRPF along with other security forces, at least 11 suspected militants have been gunned down. We are also hearing there is unconfirmed report of death of a security personnel and at least 3 other security personnel getting injuries, although we don't have at this moment an official confirmation from any of the security forces involved, any of the agency involved, because at this moment also there have been firing which is going on in the area as we report. So we will wait for it. There are reports of at least 5 other people missing from the area. A lot of people have left their villages and fled. There have been arson in the area. So therefore the situation remains very tense at this moment in Jiribam district. We saw a major escalation in violence in September last year, but for the last 1 month the situation was rather peaceful there, but now we see this major escalation once again.
Okay, well, there is tension in the area as we speak at the moment, and as per the information that's coming in, my colleague Ratnadeep continuously monitoring the situation on the ground. 11 terrorists, suspected terrorists, are confirmed dead, but there could be more casualties as well. There are, as per information we are learning, some of the security forces personnel have also sustained injuries. And what is the condition of the security forces personnel at the moment, and whether there have been more casualties, and about the situation on the ground? We'll go back to Ratnadeep in just a bit and try and get more details. Meanwhile, that's the latest that we're picking up at the moment. Well, some more news that we're tracking now. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has made a big promise on tribal rights ahead of elections. Speaking on the last day of campaigning for the first phase, he said, and I quote, "We will bring a law that if an intruder marries a tribal girl, then the girl's land will not be in the name of the intruder, and the BJP government will also get back the land that has been usurped." He said, "We will form a committee and identify each intruder and will work to expel them." Well, we do understand the BJP has consistently been raising the issue of intruders and outsiders coming to Jharkhand and usurping tribal land. Well, in that context, the statement has been made. Listen in.
आज पूरा झारखंड और विशेष कर आदिवासी क्षेत्र घुसपैठ से परेशान है। हमारे चंपई सोरेन जी ने घुसपैठ का मुद्दा उठाया। हेमंत बाबू ने कहा आप सीएम पद छोड़ दो। मुझे बताओ, आदिवासी क्षेत्र में आबादी कम होती जा रही है, घुसपैठिए घुस रहे हैं, हमारी बच्चियों से शादी रचाकर जमीन हड़पने का कार्यक्रम चल रहा है। ये रोकना चाहिए या नहीं रोकना चाहिए? जोर से बोलो, रोकना चाहिए या नहीं रोकना चाहिए? क्या जेएम रोक सकती है? जोर से बोलो, रोक सकती है? कांग्रेस रोक सकती है? लालू यादव रोक सकते हैं?
Well, my colleague Prabhakar also is now joining us on the broadcast from the ground, getting us more on that. Prabhakar, we do understand the BJP has been consistent in its attack on the JMM government in Jharkhand over the issue of infiltrators coming to this state and usurping tribal land. And that's a big poll promise now that has been made by Union Home Minister Amit Shah.
Yeah, so that's a big agenda which has actually been set by Union Home Minister Amit Shah, and it started all around 8 days back when the manifesto of BJP was released, which is called Sankalp Patra in Ranchi around 8 days back. And Amit Shah had clearly mentioned that they would not only ensure that those illegal Bangladeshi immigrants who are settled in Jharkhand with the help of the JMM and the Congress combined government, they would be uprooted from here, they would be chased away from Jharkhand. And the reason why they should be chased away is because they are actually eating into the resources meant for the tribals. So when Amit Shah says this, it is also echoed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We saw it there when Prime Minister was holding a rally yesterday at Bokaro and Gumla, and he also took up this issue. Now, you have to see this entire thing in perspective as to why BJP has made this a big poll agenda, a big rallying point for the tribals. It's trying to make a big rallying point for the tribals. It's basically not against the illegal immigrants, but to garner, to lure tribal voters is what BJP is trying to do. Because remember, when they talk about the illegal immigrants, they also talk about how these illegal immigrants are eating into the resources meant for the tribals. So basically, the tribal votes are being targeted through this. And remember, BJP, Jharkhand being a tribal-dominated state, any party which actually wishes to reach the power center at Ranchi will have to have the support of the tribal voters. And that is the reason why both the factions, whether it is JMM Congress combined or the BJP, they are taking up the tribal issue at the core of their agenda.
Both sides, JMM Congress as well as the BJP, have been trying their best to woo the tribal community, and infiltration, we do understand, has been a big poll issue, is a big poll issue for the BJP. BJP leaders as well as star campaigners, including Prime Minister Modi, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, have been aggressively using this issue as their campaign pitch. And whether this is going to give them dividends, that of course remains to be seen. Whether this is going to benefit the party and give them the expected result in the Jharkhand polls, well, that of course is something that would be clear on the result day. Meanwhile, thank you so much, Prabhakar, for getting us all those details there. We have more news that we're tracking. The Election Commission has issued a show-cause notice to West Bengal BJP President Sukanta Majumdar for his alleged remarks on the national emblem and the West Bengal police. Well, he's been asked to furnish his response by 8 p.m. tonight. The TMC had approached the poll panel earlier seeking action against the BJP leader for his remarks made during a public meeting in Taldangra. The seat is going for a bypoll, of course. The EC has claimed that they took action within 24 hours of the TMC complaint, but the Trinamool Congress now has challenged this claim. The TMC has said that the EC has acted on the last day of campaigning. They did not even meet the TMC delegation when they had gone to file their complaint.
Well, the Election Commission of India, of course, is saying that it has now asked Sukanta Majumdar to respond to the complaint by the Trinamool Congress. But, of course, Derek O'Brien, the Trinamool's leader in Parliament, has, of course, written to the Election Commission this morning. And this largely stems from that, where he said that the Trinamool Congress would like to express its deep disappointment over the Election Commission of India's handling of two serious complaints that were submitted on the 9th of November regarding violations of elections integrity, electoral integrity. And he said one is, of course, what they called illegal activities by CAPF personnel. Said that CAPF personnel operated without the mandated presence of state police and were allegedly entering private residences. That is one complaint. And the second one was that, of course, derogatory and defamatory speech by BJP leader, state president and union MO Sukanta Majumdar during an election rally in poll-bound Taldangra had made derogatory statements against the state police and insulted the state emblem of India by suggesting it be replaced by symbols resembling footwear. So now in this context, of course, the Trinamool had also written to the Chief Election Commissioner and said that the Commission's inaction and delayed response raises serious questions about its role as a neutral arbiter in the election process. Now, the Election Commission has clarified that it has asked Sukanta Majumdar to respond by 8 p.m. But this has also become a larger TMC versus Election Commission battle. And in that battle, of course, the TMC taking the complaints that it had to the Election Commission, but also alleging inaction by the Election Commission and thereby raising questions on its role as a neutral arbiter of elections. And that's something that the Trinamool Congress raised, and of course the Election Commission has also responded to. But this has been playing out since the 9th of November. There was a delegation that went to meet the Election Commission from the Trinamool Congress led by senior leaders and MPs, And of course, now the response also coming in from the Election Commission in this matter.
All right, we have more news that we're tracking. Well, Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi held a roadshow today with Rahul Gandhi in Wayanad. It's the last day of campaigning, and we have these visuals that came in just a while back of Priyanka Gandhi's roadshow in Wayanad. Well, there was huge crowd that was seen in Priyanka Gandhi's roadshow. The bypoll will take place on the 14th along with other bypolls from other states. Well, let's listen into what Rahul Gandhi had said during this roadshow.
My 5 years in Wayanad completely changed the way I think about my politics and my life. After I came to Wayanad, the word love entered my political vocabulary. I can tell you that she's going to be an excellent member of parliament for Wayanad.
All right, let's now switch our focus to Maharashtra. Maharashtra's Worli constituency is likely to witness a high-octane battle between Milind Deora and Aditya Thackeray. My colleague Radhika caught up with the leader, who speaks on a lighter note how he makes healthy choices to stay fit for his campaign. Radhika Ramaswamy caught up with Milind Deora over a cup of coffee and tiffin in Worli.
All right, Mr. Deora, thank you so much for joining us on NDTV. Do you really get time to have cups of coffees and, nashta these days? How busy? I mean, I'm sure the schedule is busy, but do you have time to even breathe?
No, election schedules are very busy. This is my 5th election, and I've seen it from childhood. I've seen my late father. He fought 7 parliament elections, assembly elections, corporation elections. So from childhood, we've seen it. It's a hectic time, but it's a time when we also get to, you have to regulate yourself. And I've learned over the years, compared to when I was 27 years old in my first election, to now when I'm 47, I've learned how to, 20 years later, regulate myself much better, take care of myself much better. I meditate. I try to do at least once a day to declutter my mind of all the activity that's been happening the night before or during the day. I try to eat healthy as much as possible.
Yes.
And I just said healthy, and there you go. Thank you. And so these are things which I try to do, and generally, you get a good workout when you campaign as well. Stay hydrated. But it would be wrong for me to say I don't get time to have a cup of coffee. I wake up in the morning. I get about half an hour to read, to glance through the newspapers, glance through the news of the day, and of the morning rather, and have something to drink.
How has the campaign trail been, and how difficult has it been over the last several weeks? Take us through the challenges that you're facing while you're on the road. Of course, you're a seasoned politician. You've done it before. You've been MP multiple times. So, but how challenging has it been this time?
In a strange way, the heat is not so bad. It's not as bad as a summer election. My God. Thank you. Thank you. The heat is better relative to a summer Lok Sabha election. Number one. Number two, the parliamentary elections, you typically get about 2 to 3 weeks to cover 6 assembly constituencies that make up a parliamentary seat. Here you have about 2 to 3 weeks to cover 1 assembly seat. So in that sense, it's easier, but it also means you're using your time to almost do door-to-door campaigning, going chawl to chawl, building to building, slum to slum, home to home. And that in some ways is more grueling also. Both have their own challenges.
As I said, you're a seasoned politician. You've been the youngest parliamentarian, and you've contested election multiple times, MP twice. What drove you to contest from Worli this time? Of course, you know South Bombay better than many other leaders. But what drove you to contest this time from Worli constituency, and what drove you to contest at all?
Firstly, it is a left field decision. Thank you. Chai, please. Thank you. Thank you. Half cup. Thank you. For me, like you said, I'm a South Mumbaikar. I've represented this area several times. I know this area. I'm born here. I live here. I work here. This is my Janma Bhumi and my Karma Bhumi. There's no doubt Aditya Thackeray is an important leader of the opposition. And he's been the MLA of this area for the last 5 years. So, in some ways, this is a political challenge. The party, the alliance felt we should mount a serious challenge. And there were many discussions that we had. We have a lot of good local workers here. And in Worli is a very different constituency in that it's A, very cosmopolitan. B, there is a strong emotion of Worlikar. There are a lot of people who consider themselves local Worlikars. You won't find that in Malabar Hill, where there's a local aspiration and they want local people. Worli, thank you, has had one of the longest serving MLAs in Maharashtra, Dattaji Nalavade, who was a local. After that, it had Sachin Ahir from the NCP. It had Sunil Shinde from the Shiv Sena, also locals. Aditya was really the first outsider MLA from this area. And there was, in some ways, we wanted to mount a challenge. We wanted to raise the stakes. We did think about giving this ticket to a local Worlikar Karyakarta who's on the ground, accessible to them, unlike, let's say, Aditya. But the decision was finally taken that, these things spin both ways. If we gave it to a local person, what could have happened is the narrative would have been, oh, you've given him a cakewalk. You've given it to an unknown person. And then all kinds of speculation and conspiracy theories would have floated around.
All right. Well, after that interesting conversation, let's now shift our focus to some more news that we're tracking. The BJP has complained to the Election Commission and has demanded for an FIR to be registered against Rahul Gandhi and even Mallikarjun Kharge. The BJP in its complaint to EC has said that the Election Commission must restrain Rahul Gandhi's lies. Well, Rahul Gandhi had earlier said that the BJP and RSS both want to end the constitution, but the India bloc is here to protect the constitution. Now, the BJP has filed this complaint with the Election Commission demanding that an FIR should be registered against Rahul Gandhi and also Mallikarjun Kharge. My colleague Aishwarya gets us more on that.
Well, 5-member delegation of the Bharatiya Janata Party met the Chief Election Commissioner at the ECI headquarters today under the chairmanship of Arjun Ram Meghwal, Law Minister. And in a 10-page complaint that has been filed by the ECI against Rahul Gandhi's remarks in Maharashtra and Jharkhand, along with Mallikarjun Kharge remarks, two important points coming out. Number one, of course, the FDI that Rahul Gandhi was speaking about, Rahul Gandhi had spoken in the past, according to the Bharatiya Janata Party, that most of the FDI worth rupees 70,000 crore had been shifted from Maharashtra to Gujarat because it is a BJP-ruled state. And the Bharatiya Janata Party has presented its facts forward that, more than Gujarat, there was massive FDI that has been invested in the state of Maharashtra itself, and that is a complete lie in terms of what Rahul Gandhi has been speaking in several of his rallies in Maharashtra. Apart from it, an important point that also the Bharatiya Janata Party raised about Rahul Gandhi speaking that Bharatiya Janata Party is trying to crush the Constitution of India. Those people, who wants jobs in the teaching, those who wanted to be a vice chancellor, those who wanted to get jobs in colleges, universities, they should be a part of the RSS and they can easily get those jobs. This is something that the BJP has stated, that it's absolutely baseless comments that Rahul Gandhi had made. And, the divisive politics, something that the Congress is playing about what they say about Maharashtra and Gujarat and dividing the states out of states against the states, caste against the caste, and therefore the reason perhaps it is under the section 353 of the BRS, the FIR should be registered against Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge is something that the Bharatiya Janata Party has demanded. They have also demanded the Election Commission of India to reprimand Rahul Gandhi over his comments and to ask him to stop spreading these lies in several of his rallies in Maharashtra as well. A strong delegation just met and stepped outside the Election Commission of India. Now it depends on the ECI whether they will act upon the complaint that has now been filed by the BJP or not.
Right. All right. Let's try and get a Congress response also on this. We have Mr. Charan Singh Sapra, spokesperson of the Congress party, joining us on the broadcast here. Mr. Sapra, the BJP has now complained to the Election Commission asking for an FIR to be registered against Rahul Gandhi and even Mallikarjun Kharge. What does the Congress have to say on that? The BJP is saying that these are all lies that Rahul Gandhi is propagating.
No, if Congress party is demanding, or India alliance partners are demanding that there should be a caste census, then BJP should straight away say that they are against the caste census. Instead of doing all this stunt of going to Election Commission and asking them to file a FIR, this shows that even Election Commission looks compromised. And we have seen in earlier instances also. But the whole thing is that Congress party is making a legitimate demand from the government that there should be a caste census, and if there is a need, then the 50% cap should be broken and the parliament should take a stand and we should work in the interest of people of India. That's what the Congress party is demanding. If that is wrong, then it is for the people to decide. We are already in people's court in Maharashtra and Jharkhand.
Okay, so what does Rahul Gandhi mean that the BJP and RSS are attempting to end the constitution? What does he mean by that?
No, the BJP leaders in Lok Sabha election, if I remind you, that they have been openly talking that 400 par ho gaya to hum samvidhan badal denge. It was Lallu Singh, it was Diya Kumari, it was so many other leaders, Arun Govil and so on. All these leaders have openly stated कि हम 400 पार हो जाएंगे तो हम संविधान बदल देंगे. And this government and this Bharatiya Janata Party and their ideological fathers, RSS, they have always been against the reservation. You just count from Deen Dayal Upadhyay to Guru Golwalkar to Mohan Bhagwat to Manmohan Vaidya. Everybody has been speaking against reservations. And furthermore, even Narendra Modi's government has, privatized so many Navratna companies. That shows that the Navratna companies which were employing as per the reservation policy of Government of India, they have been privatized. So the reservation is gone in those Navratna companies. So this BJP is systematically demolishing the reservation. They are systematically wanting to change the constitution and bring in Manu Smriti.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Sapra, for speaking to us. And that response coming in from the Congress party on the BJP complaint to the Election Commission, where they've said that these are lies that are being propagated by Rahul Gandhi, and Rahul Gandhi needs to be restrained. That is what they've said in their complaint to the EC. What action the Election Commission is going to take, of course, that remains to be seen. Whether a notice would be issued to Rahul Gandhi, and what really happens next. We'll keep an eye on those developments there. Meanwhile, we have some more news now that we're tracking at the moment. Let's now shift the focus. After a Washington Post report claimed US President-elect Trump called Russian President Putin to discuss the Ukraine war, Moscow today rejected claims of a phone call, calling it completely false. Well, the Washington Post had claimed that Donald Trump had called Vladimir Putin from his residence in Palm Beach, Florida. The call was reportedly made a day after Trump spoke to Ukrainian President Zelensky. Listen to first what the Kremlin spokesperson had to say.
Какой-либо подготовки сейчас пока не ведется, никаких сигналов мы не получали. И, собственно, также на Валдае хочу вам напомнить, именно Путин сказал, что и Шольц, и Макрон, они сами ушли со связи и не хотят разговаривать. Поэтому здесь, если они говорят, что какие-то сигналы пойдут, значит, их надо дождаться. Пока не было никаких.
All right, my colleague Ghazali is also now joining us, getting us more on this report. We do understand, Russia has completely rejected these claims of a phone call between, President Trump and Russian President Putin. What more details do we have about this? On what basis was this claim made?
See, Kitty, we'll have to see. There are many issues in this story. One, that the Western media like Washington Post reported that Trump spoke to Mr. Putin. Later, the Kremlin called it a issue of fiction. It's completely baseless and a fake information being peddled by the Western media. But the issue here is that we know Trump's politics. Before he was, while he was campaigning for the presidential election, he had criticized the Biden-Harris administration for providing multi-million aid to Ukraine to fight this election, and he called it a corrupt nexus between those who are providing aid as well as the Ukraine's war against Russia or Russia's war against Ukraine. But right now the situation is very ambiguous because both the parties, both Russia and Ukraine, if you remember, in the last 48 hours have launched a very intense attack against each other. Russia faced around 34 drones being launched from Ukraine. Ukraine said that Russia has also launched multiple drones towards its territory. So right now the situation is such that both the parties know that it is the US who will have to negotiate and bring both the parties to the table for negotiation, for achieving any kind of ceasefire or say to end to the war. But before that happens, both the parties are also trying to have an upper hand by inflicting maximum damage to their adversaries. As far as this story is concerned, the Washington Post claims that perhaps he spoke to Putin, but Kremlin denies it, and we'll have to see that how Mr. Trump will proceed with a ceasefire solution or a peace plan, because Mr. Zelensky was working on a cease plan being proposed by Mr. Biden or his administration, but that has not seen the light of the day because Mr. Biden or any other American leader have not been able to bring both the parties on one table. Many peace conferences were organized by Ukraine, then many people who were close to Russia didn't attend it, and now it's up to Trump that how he will steer through this entire complex situation to bring Mr. Putin and Zelensky on a table. But right now, Kremlin clearly suggests that there has been no conversation or communication between Mr. Trump, who is the president-elect, as well as Mr. Putin.
But, okay, so any information about whether there could be a conversation in the future? I mean, well, we do understand, as you've been mentioning it as well, Trump had very much made his stand clear on this very issue, on the war that has been going on, how he would want to put an end to it. But anything that has been that has come in from the side of the Kremlin, that any conversation that is expected?
See, a lot of administrative decisions are yet to be taken by Mr. Trump, but we know his line, or what his line was during the campaign when it comes to war in the Middle East as well as war between Russia and Ukraine. And he clearly had said back then that had I been in office, these wars would not have erupted, or had it been erupted, I would have successfully brought an end to these wars. But right now there is no action plan as shared by the Washington or even by Kremlin that how Mr. Putin, how Mr. Trump will proceed with any kind of negotiation. There has been no word about it, but we only know what Trump's line has been on this ongoing war.
All right. Thank you so much, Ghazali, for getting us all those details there. Well, that's the latest that we're picking up at the moment. We'll be keeping an eye on the developments here. That's a big story that we're tracking at the moment. Well, Russia has called these reports as purely fiction and have denied these reports of a call between the Russian president and the US President Donald Trump. All right. We have more news now that we're tracking now. Heartbreaking scenes from Chhattisgarh's Udanti Sita Nadi Tiger Reserve, where a baby elephant who was just 5 to 6 years old was severely injured by a potash bomb blast. The young elephant, suffering serious wounds to its jaw and leg, was seen trying to soothe its pain by pouring water on its wounds with its trunk. Forest officials launched an intensive operation to track the elephant using drones and a dog squad, while a medical team is on standby for immediate assistance. Well, authorities have also announced a reward of 10,000 rupees for information on those responsible for planting the bomb, as blood stains from the injured calf stretch deep into the forest. Well, with that, it's time for a short break here. More news and updates continue on the other side. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
UK 115 Delhi to Singapore will be the last international Vistara flight tonight before the airline merges with Air India.
तालियों के साथ हम स्वागत
अजेंडा फक्त करप्शन फर्स्ट, आमचा अजेंडा आहे नेशन फर्स्ट.
घोषणा आणि जनतेचे पैसे लुटणं.
कट कमिशन आणि करप्शनला आमच्याकडे थारा नाही. त्यांचा परिवारवाद, आमचा महाराष्ट्रवाद.
महाराष्ट्रामध्ये 1,75,000 जागा रिक्त पण का भरत नाही? राज्याची जनतेच्या घमाच्या पैशाची तिजोरी लुटण्यासाठी हे सरकार आहे.
पूर्वीच्या सरकारच्या काळामध्ये निधी देताना त्यांना असं वाटायचं की त्यांच्याच खिशातले पैसे चालले. शेतकऱ्यांना मोफत वीज देण्याचं काम आपल्या सरकारने सुरू केलं.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the topmost news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
ऐसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए.
In the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं हैं.
NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
NDTV proudly presents NDTV World Summit 2024, the India Century. I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's inaugural session at the NDTV Summit outlined his vision for the India century, driven by aspirational India.
हमारा प्रयास होगा भारत की सेंचुरी सिर्फ भारत की नहीं बल्कि पूरी मानवता की जीत की सेंचुरी बने.
The summit brought together prominent global leaders, highlighting India's pivotal role on the world stage.
Not just Indians trusting India's leadership, but the global South especially trusting India's leadership.
Permanent seat on the UN Security Council is something that should be India's right.
Canada is concerned, I think there are some very specific issues. I think a lot of people know that.
AI is going to be one of the most important, drivers.
It's a very exciting time for India, Indian cinema as well at a global level.
NDTV World Summit was more than just a conversation. It was a confluence of ideas poised to shape our global future.
Hello and welcome to NDTV. I'm Ankit Tyagi. Let's quickly take you to the headlines we are tracking at 6 p.m. BJP complains to Election Commission over and demands FIR against Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge. BJP says to the Election Commission, censure and restrain Rahul Gandhi's lies. Meanwhile, BJP also says Rahul said BJP and RSS want to end constitution. Huge controversy in Karnataka over alleged racist remarks by Karnataka Minister Zameer Ahmed against Union Minister and JDS leader H.D. Kumaraswamy. JDS demands the Congress government to sack him from the cabinet. Union Home Minister Amit Shah's big poll promise on protecting tribal rights. Shah says will formulate a law to prevent transfer of land to infiltrators if they marry tribal women. In the national emblem controversy, Election Commission notice to Bengal BJP chief. EC says acted 20 hours after TMC complained. Meanwhile, TMC calls out and says lie that Election Commission acted within 20 hours. Supreme Court's big observation on pollution in Delhi NCR. Supreme Court talks tough to Delhi police, demands action to stop the sale and bursting of firecrackers in the national capital. Supreme Court asked the top cop to set up SIT. War of words even before the BGT, the Border Gavaskar Trophy begins. Gautam Gambhir backs Rohit and Virat Kohli. Team India head coach conceded India were outplayed by New Zealand. The Bharatiya Janata Party has complained to the Election Commission, in fact, and demanded an FIR against Congress leader Rahul Gandhi and Congress Party President Mallikarjun Kharge. The BJP has, in its complaint, told the Election Commission to censure and restrain Rahul Gandhi, what BJP calls lies being propagated against the RSS and the BJP. BJP says that Rahul Gandhi made a statement in which he said BJP and RSS want to end the constitution.
आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी का एक प्रतिनिधि मंडल चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर के ऑफिस में मिला। उनको ये बताया कि महाराष्ट्र के चुनाव में 6 नवंबर को जो लोकसभा में नेता प्रतिपक्ष हैं राहुल गांधी जी, उन्होंने फिर झूठ बोलने का प्रयास किया, राज्यों को आपस में लड़ाने का एक प्रयास किया। हमने कहा है कि जो बीएनएस की एक धारा है 353, उसके तहत नेता प्रतिपक्ष लोकसभा में राहुल गांधी जी के खिलाफ एफआईआर दर्ज होनी चाहिए, ये मांग लेकर के हम आज इलेक्शन कमीशन के मध्य आए।
My colleague Aishwarya now joins us with more details on this story. Aishwarya, the BJP upping the ante and also, in fact, trying to ensure that the political damage that Rahul Gandhi, who is continuously speaking about caste census, about constitution under threat, can be minimized.
Well, that's right, and therefore the reason perhaps a 5-member delegation of the Bharatiya Janata Party met the Chief Election Commissioner at the Election Commission of India headquarters in New Delhi, where Union Law Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal, along with other BJP leaders, submitted a memorandum, a 10-page memorandum, where Rahul Gandhi's remarks and his speeches were mentioned, in which the Bharatiya Janata Party had stated 2 important points, mainly number one, about how there has been divide in states, and wrong facts being presented by Rahul Gandhi had been reflected in his speeches. He mentioned about how there had been several projects and the FDI amounting to more than 70,000 crore rupees had been shifted from Maharashtra to Gujarat, one of the BJP ruled state, and how the growth had been stopped by the central government because it was not a BJP ruled state earlier when there was Uddhav Thackeray government. And according to BJP, the facts were presented in front of the Election Commission of India that Rahul Gandhi is spreading lies. In fact, more than 60 to 70,000 crore rupees FDI had been invested in the state of Maharashtra just alone. And therefore, the reason perhaps the Election Commission of India should take a strong stand and reprimand Rahul Gandhi. Number 2 important point that has mentioned in the memorandum by the Bharatiya Janata Party is about the fact that Rahul Gandhi spoke in one of his rallies that it is because of the help of RSS, people are getting jobs in universities. They are becoming vice chancellors, they are becoming teachers, and they got a good job because they are affiliated to RSS, and it is only because of the RSS BJP help which is factually wrong according to Bharatiya Janata Party. It is baseless allegation that Rahul Gandhi has made. In fact, Arjun Ram Meghwal, Law Minister, after stepping outside the election...
Aishwarya, just stay on with me. There are some reactions, in fact, coming in at this moment on this very story on the complaint of the Election Commission by the BJP. Listen.
And also strict orders have been passed to settle all these issues. Then one more complaint had come from Jharkhand, from Jamshedpur, about the involvement of the governor in politicking activities. The commission has promised us to take cognizance of the matter, and they have also instructed the CEO to immediately do an inquiry and submit a report. This also is a repeated complaint from our candidate. A previous complaint had already been given. 23rd, a previous complaint of the same nature was given by the candidate, and also today again the complaint has been repeated. The commission has taken serious note of this also. So I think, we are continuously seeing this pattern. The only angle in which this is going is completely dividing communities and trying to get a political advantage. I think it is way beyond what this country is used to. So we have again told Commission that if in the coming days, if this gets repeated, then there has to be serious put on this party on any kind of campaigning in terms of social media or other things. So this is our request, and the Commission had taken it seriously, and all the 8 complaints were considered serious and attended to. Thank you.
Earlier, the BJP delegation had been here. They said that they wanted a fire against Mr. Kharge.
Also complaining against the BJP, specifically with specific, in fact, instances that they are now quoting in Jharkhand as well. And they have said that the Election Commission has taken that very seriously. Aishwarya continues to be with us. Aishwarya, complaint from the BJP, complaint from the Congress party, it has almost become a norm before every election campaign.
Well, certainly it was first Bharatiya Janata Party and now Congress delegation reaching out to the ECI, complaining against each other. Of course, as I was mentioning, it was first Bharatiya Janata Party, where Arjun Ram Meghwal also spoke on Rahul Gandhi's remarks over crushing the constitution. It is Rahul Gandhi who alleged that Bharatiya Janata Party is trying to crush the constitution. His remarks over the reservations, and it is the divide that the Congress party is trying to spread. Now, Congress party had submitted its own memorandum and complained, the Congress party specifically on what the BJP has alleging.
Yes.
The Congress party in its reply stated that they do not even want to use those words that had been showcased in the advertisement today in several of the Maharashtra newspapers, because that is against the people.
Aishwarya, I'm sorry I'm interrupting you here. We have at this moment Mr. Matthew Antony, national spokesperson of the Congress party, joining us, and Mr. Pradeep Bhandari, spokesperson for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us at this moment. Mr. Antony, first to you, what is Congress's response to what the BJP is, demand from the Election Commission is? They want an FIR against Rahul Gandhi, and they also want complete censure of Rahul Gandhi. They believe that the Congress party is spreading lies, and specifically Mr. Rahul Gandhi, on the RSS and the BJP, in fact, crushing the constitution.
Ankit, first of all, this objective to censure Rahul Gandhi, our leader, is originating from a space of fear from the Bharatiya Janata Party, because they are really getting worried about the reach and the acceptance of our leader Rahul Gandhi when he speaks about what the BJP is all for. Now, let me tell you this, that who from the BJP, a Union Minister, Anand Kumar Hegde, who spoke that if we have the required majority, we will change the constitution. There were many other leaders from BJP who spoke about it. In the 2015 Independence Day, when it was distributed, the leaflet which was distributed on the preamble of the Constitution, the word secular was missing.
Right.
Who did that one? It is the BJP. Then on what rights they can say that, what Congress is saying is a lie?
Okay.
We are saying with substantial evidence that the day one onwards the BJP has gone into the power this time. And before 1998 also, they have put a Justice Venkaiah Commission also,
Okay.
to explore the possibilities of changing the constitution. So who is constantly attempting the change of the constitution? And all the RSS is all about saying Manusmriti, Manusmriti, Manusmriti.
Okay, Mr.
That's exactly
Anthony,
what we
may I
are saying,
request you?
that the constitution is in danger in the hands of the BJP.
Okay, Mr. Anthony, may I request you to stay on with me? Let's get a reaction from Mr. Bhandari on this. Mr. Bhandari, is what Rahul Gandhi, whatever he's saying specifically in context of Maharashtra as well, is because what we saw in the recently concluded Lok Sabha election, is that the worry of the Bharatiya Janata Party? If he continues on this track, this may politically cost the BJP, and that's why you want a censure on Mr. Rahul Gandhi?
Well, Ankit, the right to free speech does not give you the right to lie. The right to free speech does not give you the right to spread fake news. And if an individual in public life spreads falsehood, I do believe that it is our constitutional right to ask for a constitutional remedy from the electoral body. Now, the fact is, Ankit, if you recall and remember, that Congress party is the only party which has trampled on the Constitution of India at the time of emergency. It is the Congress party's Mr. Rahul Gandhi who had given a statement that he envisions an India that at some point or the other the reservation can end, which was endorsed by Mr. Nana Patole. We've been in power for the last 11 years. And in the last 11 years, we have run the most democratic government, unlike Mrs. Indira Gandhi, who had imposed president rule as a matter of habit. So when Mr. Gandhi is saying something in public discourse without any fact or evidence, I do believe that it is a legal right to approach the election commission.
Okay, let me ask you,
Mr. Gandhi, yes.
Before I go back to Mr. Anthony for a reaction, let me ask you this, exactly what Mr. Anthony was saying, that there have been some leaders from your party, Mr. Hegde was mentioned from Karnataka, a former union minister, who in fact said if the BJP gets absolute majority, then we will of course be going ahead and changing the constitution. Is that why there is credence in what Rahul Gandhi is saying, or at least it gives that handle to the Congress party to try and use this the way they want politically?
Give an analogy, Ankit. If the editor-in-chief of a television channel makes a statement, I do believe that that statement is a matter of policy of the channel, not what the reporter or a junior anchor or an anchor or any other person will make. Similarly, the Honorable Prime Minister is our leader, the Honorable Party President is the authoritative voice, and from time and again we've said it that a constitution is what is something which we will take forward. My question is that Mr. Vistara, the only fact in the independent India where the constitution has been trampled with is during the time of emergency. So the only party which the people of India should worry about from taking away their constitutional right is the Congress party.
Okay, Mr. Anton, respond to what Mr. Bhandari is saying. In fact, there is now, of course, and the BJP goes ahead every time whenever Mr. Rahul Gandhi talks about constitution. In fact, the Bharatiya Janata Party and the government has also celebrated the day, at least remembered the day when the constitution was put aside and emergency was in fact imposed, though it is part of the constitution. In fact, the usage of those sections in the constitution. But is that why the Congress party is slightly on the back foot when it comes to constitution? Because every time you speak about constitution, the only living example at this moment of the constitutional rights being in fact set aside is by the Congress party.
Okay, let's kind of come and call things as where it stands. In terms of the emergency part of it, there were so many of discussions, and we are not at all in a different space. We are just very confident in saying what we are saying. We have at some point of time there was an apology also made on that one. Now let us say what is happening in the present. Let's not go back to 50 years. Let's kind of go back to the present. And in the present, there are leaders, multiple leaders. I only quoted Mr. Hegde. There are multiple leaders who have made comments against the word secular. I asked the BJP person here, Pradeep Bhandari, will he accept the word secular in the Constitution of India? Just I'm asking that, and they are making it. And then they misinterpreted the word secular and compared it with the European secularism when the founding fathers of our country in the Constituent Assembly debated whether we should have a religious country or a secular country. They arrived into a conclusion to have a secular country where the secularism was defined as every religion, every faith in this country will be respected in an equal manner, not one above the other.
But
that is the founding value of the secularism.
But Mr. Anthony,
and that's exactly what
like
the BJP
Mr. Bhandari was saying, the BJP president and the Prime Minister included have time and again gone ahead and said that nothing of that sort is going to take place. I mean, you are using a statement by one leader as possibly an example of what BJP wants to do, but people, those who are in the government, the highest seat of the government, has come on record and said nothing of that nature is going to happen in this country.
I'm just asking, point blank, very specific question that, does the BJP spokesperson here accept the word secular in the Constitution of India? Period.
Mr. Bhandari, would you like to respond to what Mr. Antony is asking?
The word secular in the preamble of the Constitution many times.
Let me answer that.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely nice. Now, my counter question to that, Ankit, is, will the Congress party please tell us where has the Baba Saheb Bhimrao Ambedkar's constitution allowed the Congress party to give religious-based reservation to the minority community, which the Congress party is proposing in Maharashtra, which Mr. Nana Patole is proposing? So if I have answered a point-blank question, and factually speaking, the original draft of the constitution was different, it is Mrs. Indira Gandhi who tried to even change the basic structure doctrine of the Constitution of India. And today I'll tell you how they respect the constitution. When Chief Justice of India was at the swearing in, Justice Khanna, Mr. Rahul Gandhi and Mrs. Sonia Gandhi did not even attend, because the history remembers us what did Indira Gandhi do with Justice H.R. Khanna. Now my question to the Congress party is, which constitution provision allows them to give religious-based reservation to the minority community, which they are proposing in Maharashtra? Is that not anti-constitution?
Okay, very quickly, Mr. Antony, I am completely out of time, sir. Would you like to answer that?
Ankit, what we are asking for is a caste census which is being misinterpreted by the BJP people, and always BJP people are known for misinterpretation. What we are saying is that we need a caste census to give the social justice which is awarded by the Constitution, and that's exactly what we are demanding for. We are not asking for anything which is lesser than that.
I mean, possibly even if the Congress wants to do that, it will be under the same provisions that your ally TDP wants to do and give the the reservation for the Muslims in Andhra Pradesh.
Ankit, in Andhra Pradesh, Chandrababu Naidu has categorically said that no reservation of the SCs, OBCs and STs will be taken away, and additional reservation will be given to the Muslim community. Here the Congress party is proposing in the police forces, they will give preference to the Muslim community. Tomorrow they'll propose it in the army. They're not answering the specific question, which constitution provision allows you religious-based reservation in armed forces and forces of men of uniform?
All right, thank you, gentlemen. I'm completely out of time on this. Thank you so much for joining us at this moment. And with your views on this story, this is a political hot potato at this moment, ladies and gentlemen, and make no mistake that this is not the end, the last word that you have heard on this. Moving on now, a huge controversy has erupted over Karnataka Minister Zameer Ahmed's derogatory remarks on Union Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy. JDS launched a massive attack on the Congress party over the racist slur and asked if the party would even call Mallikarjun Kharge the same, as he is also a Kannadiga. Hitting back, the JDS said the people of the state would give a fitting response to the racist slur and demanded the Congress to sack the minister.
I do not know about that, but if once I see it, then I can react. I'm not sure about it. So, see, if anybody has violated the law, then they'll have to face the consequences. I do not know exactly what you are saying, so we will look into it and we'll check up and see whether there's any truth to this.
Mr. Zameer Ahmed to call anybody like anything and keep on going. But still I insist that this report should be withdrawn, notice should be given. If somebody is, if he feels that somebody has committed, then let him give his report.
Okay, sir.
Meanwhile, the Election Commission on Monday issued a show-cause notice to West Bengal BJP chief Sukanta Majumdar for his alleged remarks on the national emblem and the West Bengal police. He has been asked to furnish his response by 8 p.m. on Monday. The Trinamool Congress, I beg your pardon, the Trinamool Congress had approached the poll panel seeking action against the BJP leader for his remarks made during a public meeting. The Election Commission claimed they took action within 20 hours of the complaint, but the Trinamool Congress has challenged this claim by the EC. Meanwhile, Priyanka Gandhi held a road show as the campaign came to an end for the Wayanad by-polls. Rahul Gandhi, the former MP from Wayanad, and Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi's brother was also part of this road show. Now, Congress, both the siblings, in fact, were part of this road show. Priyanka Gandhi is seeking her first election, a political battle, electoral political battle, and her way into the Lok Sabha from Wayanad.
My 5 years in Wayanad completely changed the way I think about my politics and my work. After I came to Wayanad, the word love entered my political vocabulary. I can tell you that she's going to be an excellent member of parliament for Wayanad.
Exchange of fire between security forces and suspected terrorists, in fact, was reported from the Jiribam area in Manipur. At least 11 suspected terrorists have been neutralized by the security forces, what the sources are telling us. Some of the security personnel have also sustained injuries. Suspected militants had tried to launch an attack near a police station in Jiribam. The area was targeted before as well. Militants had set houses on fire as well.
What we are picking up from our sources among all the security forces who operate in that area, now this incident had taken place around 2:30 to 3 p.m. this afternoon. This incident took place near Boro Bekha police station under Jiribam district. Remember, Jiribam saw another spark in violence for the past couple of days. A woman from the tribal community was allegedly raped, shot dead, and then set ablaze. And after that, there had been tension in the area. Now, in this police station, remember, a few months back, there was another attack. And therefore, after that, all the security forces used to jointly operate in that area. But what you're hearing is that near this police station, there was this group of very heavily armed militants from a tribal group. They surrounded the area. They launched an attack. And in the retaliatory exchange of fire, which was led by the CRPF along with other security forces, at least 11 suspected militants have been gunned down. We are also hearing there is unconfirmed report of death of a security personnel and at least 3 other security personnel getting injuries, although we don't have at this moment an official confirmation from any of the security forces involved, any of the agency involved, because at this moment also there have been firing which is going on in the area as we report. So we will wait for it. There are reports of at least 5 other people missing from the area. A lot of people have left their villages and fled. There have been arson in the area. So therefore the situation remains very tense at this moment in Jiribam district. We saw a major escalation in violence in September last year, but for the last 1 month the situation was rather peaceful there, but now we see this major escalation once again.
Some heartbreaking visuals from Chhattisgarh's Udanti Sitanadi Tiger Reserve, where a baby elephant, just 5 to 6 year old, was severely injured by a potash bomb blast. The young elephant, suffering serious wounds to its jaw and leg, was seen trying to soothe its pain by pouring water on its wounds. In fact, forest officials have now launched an intensive operation to track the elephant using drones and dog squad, while medical team is on standby for immediate assistance. Authorities have also announced a cash reward of 10,000 rupees for information on those responsible for planting the bomb, as blood stains from the injured calf stretch deep into the forest. Well, after the merger of Vistara and Air India, now today is going to be the last Vistara flight. Last day of operations as Vistara as separate entity, and Delhi-Singapore will be its last international flight. The last domestic flight will be from Mumbai to Delhi at 10:50 p.m. Slipping into a short break at this moment. News and updates on the other side. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Download any single ID partner app, link your card and earn reward with top brand.
Get it free with single ID.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
So a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president.
Donald triumphs. What does Trump's win mean for America, for the world, for the wars, and for India-US relations? Non-stop coverage on NDTV. Top analysts and voices from the ground. Extensive coverage on NDTV.
We reached an agreement on patrolling. We have gone back to where the situation was in 2020, and we can say with that the disengagement process with China, you can say, has been completed. The understanding, to my knowledge, is that we will be able to do the patrolling which we were doing in 2020.
तालियों के साथ हम स्वागत करेंगे आदरणीय मोदी जी का।
छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज की। Corruption first on the agenda and nation first.
घोषणा आणि जनतेचे पैसे लुटणं.
कट कमिशन आणि करप्शनला आमच्याकडे थारा नाही. त्यांचा परिवारवाद आमचा महाराष्ट्रवाद.
महाराष्ट्रामध्ये 1,75,000 जागा रिक्त आहेत. मग का भरत नाही? राज्याची जनतेच्या घमाच्या पैशाची तिजोरी लुटण्यासाठी हे सरकार आहे.
पूर्वीच्या सरकारच्या काळामध्ये निधी देताना त्यांना असं वाटायचं की त्यांच्याच खिशातले पैसे चालले. शेतकऱ्यांना मोफत वीज देण्याचं काम आपल्या सरकारने सुरू केलं.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy.
Home Minister Amit Shah made a big promise on tribal rights ahead of elections, speaking on the last day of the campaigning for the first phase of elections in Jharkhand. He said we will bring a law that if an intruder marries a tribal girl, then the girl's land will not be in the name of the intruder, and the BJP government will also take back the land that has been usurped. We will form a committee and identify each intruder, and we will work to expel them.
आज पूरा झारखंड और विशेष कर आदिवासी क्षेत्र घुसपैठ से परेशान है। हमारे चंपई सोरेन जी ने घुसपैठ का मुद्दा उठाया। हेमंत बाबू ने कहा आप सीएम पद छोड़ दो। मुझे बताओ, आदिवासी क्षेत्र में आबादी कम होती जा रही है, घुसपैठिए घुस रहे हैं, हमारी बच्चियों से शादी रचाकर जमीन हड़पने का कार्यक्रम चल रहा है। ये रोकना चाहिए या नहीं रोकना चाहिए? जोर से बोलो, रोकना चाहिए या नहीं रोकना चाहिए? क्या जेएम रोक सकती है? जोर से बोलो, रोक सकती है? कांग्रेस रोक सकती है? लालू यादव रोक सकते हैं?
Yeah, so that's a big agenda which has actually been set by Union Home Minister Amit Shah, and it started all around 8 days back when the manifesto of BJP was released, which is called Sankalp Patra in Ranchi around 8 days back. And Amit Shah had clearly mentioned that they would not only ensure that those illegal Bangladeshi immigrants who are settled in Jharkhand with the help of the JMM and the Congress combined government, they would be uprooted from here, they would be chased away from Jharkhand, and The reason why they should be chased away is because they are actually eating into the resources meant for the tribals. So when Amit Shah says this, it is also echoed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We saw it there when Prime Minister was holding a rally yesterday at Bokaro and Gumla, and he also took up this issue. Now, you have to see this entire thing in perspective as to why BJP has made this a big poll agenda, a big rallying point for the tribals. It's trying to make a big rallying point for the tribals. It's basically not against the illegal immigrants, but to garner, to layer tribal voters is what BJP is trying to do. Because remember, when they talk about the illegal immigrants, they also talk about how these illegal immigrants are eating into the resources meant for the tribals. So basically, the tribal votes are being targeted through this. And remember, BJP, Jharkhand being a tribal-dominated state, any party which actually wishes to reach the power center at Ranchi will have to have the support of the tribal voters, and that is the reason why both the factions, whether it is JMM Congress combined or the BJP, they are taking up the tribal issue at the core of their agenda.
After a Washington Post report claimed US President-elect Donald Trump called Russian President Vladimir Putin to discuss the Ukraine war, Moscow today rejected claims of a phone call, calling it completely false. The Washington Post had claimed Donald Trump had called Vladimir Putin from his residence-cum-resort Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida. The call was reportedly made a day after Trump spoke to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. A short break at this moment. News and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the topmost news platform in the country. Number one in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
ऐसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए,
in the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं हैं.
NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
NDTV proudly presents NDTV World Summit 2024, the India Century. I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's inaugural session at the NDTV Summit outlined his vision for the India century, driven by aspirational India.
हमारा प्रयास होगा भारत की सेंचुरी सिर्फ भारत की नहीं बल्कि पूरी मानवता की जीत की सेंचुरी बने.
The summit brought together prominent global leaders, highlighting India's pivotal role on the world stage.
Right, now to our election special. Among the heat of the political campaign in Maharashtra, NDTV caught up with Milind Deora over a cup of coffee and tiffin in Worli. Deora talks politics, fight against Aditya Thackeray, and on a lighter note, how he makes healthy choices to stay fit on the campaign trail.
this special election edition on NDTV. I'm Radhika Ramaswamy. I'm joined by seasoned politician Milind Deora. In fact, this time we are not catching him on a busy campaign trail. Of course, he's just come from several meetings and campaigns, but now we are catching him up over cups of coffees and delicacies in a neighborhood restaurant in Worli. All right, Mr. Deora, thank you so much for joining us on NDTV. Do you really get time to have cups of coffees and, nashta these days? How busy? I mean, I'm sure the schedule is busy, but do you have time to even breathe?
No, election schedules are very busy. This is my 5th election, and I've seen it from childhood. I've seen my late father, he fought 7 parliament elections, assembly elections, corporation elections. From childhood, we've seen it. It's a hectic time, but it's a time when we also get to, you have to regulate yourself. And I've learned over the years, compared to when I was 27 years old in my first election, to now when I'm 47, I've learned how to, 20 years later, regulate myself much better, take care of myself much better. I meditate. I try to do at least once a day to declutter my mind of all the activity that's been happening the night before or during the day. I try to eat healthy as much as possible.
Yes.
And I just said healthy, and there you go. Thank you. And so these are things which I try to do, and generally, you get a good workout when you campaign as well. Stay hydrated. But it would be wrong for me to say I don't get time to have a cup of coffee. I wake up in the morning. I get about half an hour to read, to glance through the newspapers, glance through the news of the day, and of the morning rather, and have something to drink.
How has the campaign trail been, and how difficult has it been over the last several weeks? Take us through the challenges that you're facing while you're on the road. Of course, you're a seasoned politician. You've done it before. You've been MP multiple times. So, but how challenging has it been this time?
In a strange way, the heat is not so bad. It's not as bad as a summer election. My God. Thank you. Yes, thank you. The heat is better relative to a summer Lok Sabha election. Number one. Number two, the parliamentary elections, you typically get about 2 to 3 weeks to cover 6 assembly constituencies that make up a parliamentary seat. Here you have about 2 to 3 weeks to cover 1 assembly seat. So in that sense, it's easier, but it also means you're using your time to almost do door-to-door campaigning, going chawl to chawl, building to building, slum to slum, home to home. And that in some ways is more grueling also. Both have their own challenges.
As I said, you're a seasoned politician. You've been the youngest parliamentarian, and you've contested election multiple times, MP twice. What drove you to contest from Worli this time? Of course, you know South Bombay better than many other leaders. But what drove you to contest this time from Worli constituency, and what drove you to contest at all?
Firstly, it is a left field decision. Thank you. Chai, please. Thank you. Thank you. Half cup. Thank you. For me, like you said, I'm a South Mumbaikar. I've represented this area several times. I know this area. I'm born here. I live here. I work here. This is my Janma Bhumi and my Karma Bhumi. There's no doubt Aditya Thackeray is an important leader of the opposition. And he's been the MLA of this area for the last 5 years. So, in some ways, this is a political challenge. The party, the alliance felt we should mount a serious challenge. And there were many discussions that we had. We have a lot of good local workers here. And, in Worli is a very different constituency in that it's A, very cosmopolitan. B, there is a strong emotion of Worlikar. There are a lot of people who consider themselves local Worlikars. You won't find that in Malabar Hill, where there's a local aspiration and they want local people. Worli, thank you, has also had one of the longest serving MLAs in Maharashtra, Dattaji Nalavade, who was a local. After that, it had Sachin Ahir from the NCP, it had Sunil Shinde from the Shiv Sena, also locals. Aditya was really the first outsider MLA from this area. And there was, in some ways, we wanted to mount a challenge. We wanted to raise the stakes. We did think about giving this ticket to a local Worli Karyakarta who's on the ground, accessible to them, unlike, let's say, Aditya. But the decision was finally taken that, these things spin both ways. If we gave it to a local person, what could have happened is the narrative would have been, oh, you've given him a cakewalk. You've given it to an unknown person. And then all kinds of speculation and conspiracy theories would have floated around.
You know Aditya Thackeray very well. I mean, you've been his friend, you've been his colleague, you know him for many, many years. So do you find it a little weird that you're contesting against him? I know this is not personal.
He's a friend. He's someone I've known for a long time. There's no doubt. I've seen him since he was a young man. And I remember when he was a young boy, when he was a student and he came to Delhi once, and I was a member of parliament. He came home and he had written a book on poetry. So there's nothing personal about it. But he's campaigned for me very aggressively in 2014 and 2019. It's not that I took it the wrong way. And so he shouldn't either, number one. If he takes it personally, that's his problem, not mine. I'd like to think he is more mature than that. But this is really about issues. This is really about telling the people of Worli, telling the people of Mumbai, telling the people of Maharashtra that we have to move forward. Unfortunately, the kind of politics he started out doing, practicing, and the kind of politics he's been doing for the last few years after he lost power, in my opinion, is very negative and very unfortunate because he came in with a lot of promise. He's now become a speed breaker in the way of progress. The largest port in the country, Vadhavan port coming to Maharashtra in Palghar, he opposed it blindly. One of the largest refineries coming to Maharashtra, he opposed it. One of the largest nuclear power plant in the world in Konkan, he opposed it. He delayed the Mumbai metro by 4 years and led to a cost escalation of 14,000 crores. The Mumbai Mahalakshmi race course, which he failed to implement when the lease expired in 2013. This government did it. He's opposing it. So I think this opposition politics for the sake of opposing, just because you don't like the person who's implementing it. You have a problem with the leader who's implementing it, doesn't mean you should become anti-Maharashtra, anti-Mumbai.
Sure. So many of the projects were stalled under MDA regime is something that you've been pointing, and several other leaders within Mahayuti as well. Now, talking about Worli constituency, of course, you said that there is a lot of conversation around our Worli constituency a lot, and that is something that even I noticed when I came here, when we were doing the setup. A lot of talk around how this is a three-way fight. Anything that you'd like to say about the third contestant, Sandeep Deshpande of MNS, who seemed to also win some sort of influence in this?
I don't think that anyone takes MNS very seriously now, number one. And largely this is a two-way fight. It's beyond Aditya and Milind Deora. It's beyond two parties as well, or two alliances. It's really a fight between governance without speed limits or governance filled with speed breakers. And that's a choice that Worlikars have to make. Do they want Mumbai, Maharashtra to move forward at the speed it's been moving forward in the last few years? Or do they want to put speed breakers up on every single issue? There's a good balance between infrastructure like the coastal road, Atal Setu, Mumbai Metro, Navi Mumbai Airport. But at the same time, we're also implementing green infrastructure. The Mahalakshmi race course, plus the coastal road will open up 300 acres of public parks, central parks, to the people of South Mumbai. He's opposing that. This fear psychosis, spreading fear among the people. Oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. The government is going to build towers on the Mahalakshmi race course. This is what's going to happen in Dharavi. Just blindly lying, in my opinion, is politics which is negative. It's going to harm Mumbai, it's going to harm Maharashtra, and that's really one of the core reasons why I'm fighting this case.
Absolutely. And as far as Worli constituency is concerned, you did speak about what the constituency is all about. It's a mixed constituency. You have your upscale, buildings, your elite buildings and people, and then you have your BDD chawls, which is another issue that you keep talking about, and Kolivadas. So tell us about the issues that you'd like to raise and some of the changes you'd like to see in the constituency.
Well, there are many issues. So there are many local. Look, to be honest, in every constituency in Mumbai now, especially in parts of South Mumbai, where you have old chawls. This was originally a larger area called Giran Gaon, which meant the village where the Girini Kamgars, the mill workers who worked in textile mills, housing for the laborers, when Mumbai was a textile hub of India. And chawls were built for them during the British era, for them to live there, and then they would come to the mills to work. Today, those chawls are being redeveloped. Those mills have been redeveloped. You see skyscrapers, you see towers, you see commercial buildings, you see retail spaces. This area and the city is completely changing. How do you take everyone along? How do you ensure that you're not just building a constituency for the super rich, but you're also building a constituency for the lower middle class, for those who want affordable housing? Otherwise, what will happen is people are being forced to leave Mumbai and live in Dombivli, live in Ambarnath, go to places outside where land is cheaper, housing is cheaper. We need to bring them back. We need to ensure that this area is an area for every community, for all economic strata. And that's important for all of us. Today, when in a restaurant, the restaurant owner may be living in a tower, but the people working in the restaurant live in these stalls, they live in these slums. So they need to live side by side, work side by side. So that's the vision which I have personally for every constituency in Mumbai, I would say, but certainly in South Mumbai and Worli, which is how do you resolve these issues, how do you resolve these housing issues that affect the people of BDD Chawl. Then of course there are common area issues which impact all of the city in every assembly constituency, traffic, water, roads. These are areas we all need to throw our weight behind, ensure that there's better infrastructure. And so, but as I said, to rise above Worli, if we are not taking Mumbai and Maharashtra forward at the speed we've been progressing the last 2.5 years, then everyone will suffer.
Certainly. So development plank is something high on agenda as far as Mahayuti is concerned.
It's the only thing on the agenda.
Absolutely.
And it's where I think that Aditya, who came with great promise, not just failed to deliver, but I would say he became an impediment in the way of Mumbai and Maharashtra's progress and continues to do so, which I personally found and continue to find very, very unfortunate. When he came in here as someone who's fought from South Mumbai and he decided to contest the elections, the first member of his family to do so, and then chose Worli as a constituency, although he doesn't live here. I actually thought that the people of Worli, forget the politics, would benefit from his representation. He would help them, he would be accessible to them, he would solve these issues. He would take Mumbai forward, he would want Maharashtra to move forward. He wouldn't oppose for the sake of opposing. He'd educate people who were misled that we should not necessarily oppose for the sake of opposing. Every single incident, as I said, from metro to the Vadhavan port, to the refinery, to the nuclear plant, to the race course, every single issue, just blind opposition, fear psychosis.
2024, very different from elections 2019 in terms of political landscape is changed. We have multiple parties now, splits have happened, realignments have happened. You left the Congress party, you joined Eknath Shinde Sena. So how do you view these elections as compared to the previous ones, previous assembly elections in Maharashtra?
Look, the biggest disruption that happened in Maharashtra, very quickly, unfortunately, I have to excuse myself. The biggest disruption that happened in Maharashtra 2019 was when Shiv Sena and Congress came together. The Mahayuti had won a second term and the NDA won a second term in 2019. The voters decisively gave the Shiv Sena BJP alliance a second term. That mandate was stolen by Uddhav Thackeray ji, by the Congress, by Sharad Pawar ji. As a result of that disruption, you're bound to see a political fallout of that. And that's what happened. And I remember very clearly warning the Congress, warning Aditya, that this is not in anyone's interest. Respect the people's mandate. Maintain Congress, I remember advising them, maintain the role of an opposition, constructive opposition. People chose otherwise for power, people chose otherwise for whatever unfortunate reasons, and that led to this disruption. So these things happen when you disobey, disregard the verdict of the people.
Mr. Deora, before I let you go, I have some very light questions
Sure,
to ask
please
beyond
go ahead.
politics. Sunrise at Marine Drive or sunset at Worli Sea Face?
Honestly, it doesn't matter where it is, where in the world I am. Sunrise or sunset are beautiful in any part of the world.
Favorite Mumbai street food?
Tough question. Depends. Sometimes more than the a batata vada, but more the vada minus the bread is my favorite quick food. Pav bhaji, a sev puri.
And if you weren't a politician, who would you be? Because I know you play the guitar. I mean, that's what I read.
Without a doubt, a musician. Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
And if you
I mean, if not a musician, certainly in the genre of music. Whether it's a musician, whether it's a person who is managing an artist, whether it's someone who's carrying the guitar of an artist, tuning their guitar, anything to do in the music space.
Wonderful. And if you could meet any politician from history, who would it be? World history, Indian history, anything.
Any politician from world history? Certainly Gandhi ji.
Okay. And I have a few questions to understand your knowledge about Worli, but these are very simple questions. Which luxury high-rise in Worli is among the tallest residential buildings in India?
Good question. Is it Lodha Towers?
That's one of them. That's
Okay.
one of them.
Okay.
And there is one more, because I read two.
India Bulls Blue?
No, one that is under dispute, I think.
I'm not sure.
Palace Royale.
Okay, okay.
That's
I didn't know that.
dispute,
I
right?
didn't know that.
And which well-known Indian cricketer and former captain of the Indian team resides in a luxury apartment in Worli?
I think Rohit does, or I know Surya doesn't. I don't know. Virat does. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
It's. I don't know if. Yes, he's in. He's in.
He does stay
Yes.
in Worli,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And there's one more thing that I read about, which is quite interesting. Weight of Bandra Worli ceiling is equal to the weight of 50,000 dash. 50,000
The
dash.
weight of the Bandra Worli ceiling is equal to the weight of 50,000 dash. I don't know.
Yeah, that is
Maybe
something
these
that I
pulleys.
don't. Yeah, exactly right. 50,000 African elephants.
Wow.
This is something I read
didn't know that.
online.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But that's it. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Mr. Deora,
Thank you
for
so much.
speaking to NDTV.
Pleasure.
And we look forward to having more chats with you ahead of elections and after elections.
Absolutely.
And all
It'll be a
the best
pleasure.
to
It'll be a
you.
pleasure.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
It's the last day of Vistara's flights as a separate entity with the merger with Air India scheduled to go through. The last domestic flight will be at 10:50 p.m.
It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con. Only on NDTV 24/7. Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
So a $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president.
Donald triumphs. What does Trump's win mean for America, for the world, for the wars, and for India-US relations? Non-stop coverage on NDTV. Top analysts and voices from the ground. Extensive coverage on NDTV.
We reached an agreement on patrolling. We have gone back to where the situation was in 2020, and we can say with that the disengagement process with China, you can say, has been completed. The understanding, to my knowledge, is that we will be able to do the patrolling which we were doing in 2020.
घोषणा आणि जनतेचे पैसे लुटणं.
कट कमिशन आणि करप्शनला आमच्याकडे थारा नाही. त्यांचा परिवारवाद आमचा
महाराष्ट्रामध्ये 1,75,000 जागा रिक्त आहेत. मग का भरत नाही? राज्याची जनतेच्या घमाच्या पैशाची तिजोरी लुटण्यासाठी हे सरकार आहे.
पूर्वीच्या सरकारच्या काळामध्ये निधी देताना त्यांना असं वाटायचं की त्यांच्याच खिशातले पैसे चालले. शेतकऱ्यांना मोफत वीज देण्याचं काम आपल्या सरकारने सुरू केलं.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
India's IT capital is always buzz. It's literally a city that never sleeps. And I keep you ahead on all the Bengaluru buzz.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the topmost news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
कैसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए.
In the presence of those who are shaping our future.
मेरी तरफ से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं हैं.
NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
NDTV proudly presents NDTV.
Hello and welcome to the Southern View. I'm Veera Raghav. On the show this evening, the political exchange in Karnataka gets aggressive, derogatory and abusive. And our special focus, is it time for Tamil cinema stars to move beyond their titles and follow Kamal Hassan's lead? But first, let's take you through the headlines we're tracking this hour. The BJP moves the Election Commission, demands an FIR against Rahul Gandhi and Mallikarjun Kharge for their comments that the BJP and RSS want to end the constitution. Siddaramaiah hits back at Prime Minister Modi, says he will resign if the allegation that Karnataka Congress sent 700 crores to fund the Maharashtra campaign is proven. Supreme Court demands Delhi police to take quote-unquote immediate action to stop the sale and bursting of firecrackers in the national capital, asks Delhi's top cop to set up a special investigating team, reiterates that no religion would encourage pollution. Chandrababu Naidu's TDP, JSP, BJP coalition presents its first state budget, hits out at the earlier YSRCP government for leaving the state in economic ruins, declares the road ahead for the economically fragile state. Well, the top story this evening, as the campaign for the by-elections to 3 assembly constituencies in Karnataka, remember 3 crucial constituencies, came to a close, there was both acrimony, aggression and derogatory remarks. State Minister for Minorities and Housing, Zameer Ahmed Khan's derogatory reference about Union Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy led to a strong reaction from the JDS and a demand for Zameer Ahmed's resignation. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, meanwhile, in North Karnataka, threw an open challenge to Prime Minister Modi to prove the allegation against the Karnataka Congress of sending 700 crores to fund the Maharashtra polls. The political temperature clearly soaring.
Karnataka's Minister for Minorities, Zameer Ahmed Khan, who has been under attack for the order claiming farming land for the Waqf Board. He has landed himself in another controversy. Speaking at a campaign stage in the by-polls for the Channapatna constituency, Zameer Ahmed allegedly used abusive remarks against Union Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy, whose son Nikhil is the BJP JDS candidate. He made the comment while playing an alleged video of Kumaraswamy's comments on Muslim voters.
म्हणजे मुसलमानांकी वोट की जरूरत नहीं है, वोटा मांगने जाता भी नहीं, म्हणजे वोटा भी देना नहीं करको. ये कौन बोल रहा सो? हमारा काला कुमारस्वामी.
H.D. Kumaraswamy and Zameer Ahmed are friends turned rivals who had similar exchanges in the past, and the minority votes are crucial in the battle for Channapatna. The JDS has now launched an offensive against Zameer Ahmed, demanding action against him.
जो उन्होंने हमारे कुमार स्वामी जी के बारे में बोला है, उनकी कितनी छोटी सी सोच है, ये बताता है सबको. हमें पता है हमारे कुमार स्वामी एकदम हीरे हैं, सोना है, हम जानते हैं, और आपको रिजल्ट भी जल्दी मिलने वाला है.
Karnataka Minister Zameer Ahmed Khan's racist salam at the Union Minister Kumaraswamy has evoked reaction from all quarters. The Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is yet to react, but the JDS is adamant on Zameer's resignation.
BJP also chimed in as the abusive remarks snowballs into a political slugfest.
Mr. Zameer Ahmed to call anybody like anything and keep on going, but still I insist that this report should be withdrawn, notice should be given. If somebody is, if he feels that somebody has committed, then let him give his report.
Meanwhile, in North Karnataka, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah took on Prime Minister Modi and challenged the latter to prove his allegation that Karnataka Congress had sent 700 crores to fund the Maharashtra campaign, sparking another face-off.
ನನಗೆ ಆಶ್ಚರ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ದೇಶದ ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಸುಳ್ಳು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನನಗೆ ಆಶ್ಚರ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಿನ್ನೆ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಭಾಷಣ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮಹಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಚುನಾವಣೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಚಾರ ಭಾಷಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಅಬ್ಕಾರಿ ಇಲಾಖೆಯಿಂದ 700 ಕೋಟಿ ರೂಪಾಯಿಗಳನ್ನ ಸಂಗ್ರಹ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಹಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಜಾರ್ಖಂಡ್ಗೆ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಉಪಚುನಾವಣೆಗೆ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಸವಾಲು ಹಾಕ್ತೇನೆ, ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನ ಸಾಬೀತು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ರಾಜಕೀಯದಿಂದ ನಿವೃತ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ, ಇಲ್ಲದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ನಿವೃತ್ತಿ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ನೀವು ನಿವೃತ್ತಿ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಒಬ್ಬ ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ಸುಳ್ಳು ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಸತ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಹತ್ತಿರದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಿಚಾರಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು, ಸತ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ದೂರವಾದಂಥ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಇಂಥ ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿ, ಇಂಥ ಸುಳ್ಳು ಹೇಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿ ಭಾರತದ ಇತಿಹಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ, ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರ ಭಾರತದ ಇತಿಹಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಬಂದಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ.
Clearly, the political exchange in Karnataka is only getting more intense. With Nihal Kidwai, Bureau Report, NDTV.
Well, so for a quick face-off this evening as the campaign for the bypolls in Karnataka comes to a close, Bhavya Narasimhamurthy, spokesperson of the Congress, Dr. Lakshmi Ashwin Gowda of the Bharatiya Janata Party joining us this evening. Thank you too for being here. Bhavya, first to you. Zameer Ahmed Khan's comment, avoidable, derogatory and something. What's the Congress's position on that comment?
We will look into it. If there is anything derogatory and something against the law will take its course. Coming back to what the Prime Minister is alleging our Chief Minister about 700 crores being, siphoned off from the government. Our Chief Minister has openly put a challenge. If the Prime Minister has the, courage, let him take this challenge and prove it. Whoever wins will stay in
Lakshmi
power.
Gowda,
the other person
respond
will
to
resign.
what the Congress spokesperson has said.
Let the Prime Minister actually take this challenge if he can. If he has the courage, let him face the Chief Minister. It's, there is a dignity to the position of Prime Minister. It's a
Let Lakshmi Gowda
Every
respond to what you
he
said.
makes should be backed by facts.
It is the saddest state of affairs. It is the most saddest state of affairs that democratically elected political representative like Mr. Zameer Ahmed, who can flag or castigate using derogatory and racist and untoward and uncanny remarks about another democratically elected person, the two are union minister like H.D. Kumaraswamy, is highly unacceptable and it is highly condemnable. The party has had the history of protecting and even honoring the people who are involved in making the untoward remarks and those who are making derogatory remarks like Sam Pitroda earlier. And the party hasn't taken any action till now. The party should come forward should take the cognizance of the matter first and should sack him and tell him.
Lakshmi, the party says, the Congress spokesperson has said they will look into it. If they do find it derogatory, action will be taken. The Congress spokesperson has raised the other issue of Siddaramaiah, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah throwing a challenge to the Prime Minister. Is there proof of the allegation made against the Karnataka Congress? Your response to that?
There is a proof of a scam involved to the tune of 700 crores in the excise department. That has been, the party has had the history of channeling out or chiffoning off so much of funds during elections in the neighborhood states or in another states, other states, and there is a proof that they've involved in scam and scandal that is to the tune of 700 crores, that too from excise department. Where will they channel all this money? Where will they channel this amount of money? This definitely will go to the election board Maharashtra state, isn't it? We are not doing any untoward remarks or derogatory remarks. It's all the fact. They are involved in the scam. The scam is real. 700 crore inappropriation of the fund is real. The Muda scam is real. The Valmiki Corporation scam is real. I'm not making any untoward or derogatory remarks.
Bhavya, the
without any fact.
BJP saying they are making allegations on the scam.
There is
the Prime Minister.
The BJP is saying they're making allegations on the scam. What about Zameer Ahmed's remarks? It's out in the open on air. The question to the Congress
That's exactly what I'm
specifically is
saying.
that in terms of that remark,
that we will look into it. any disciplinary action will be taken. It has happened today. But what Lakshmi just said, I can totally understand. A prime minister from their party, if he can make baseless allegation, sitting in a constitutional position, of course, Lakshmi has to repeat that. Like, what kind of evidence do you people have? How did you arrive at a number of 700 crore? And what evidence do you have that it has been siphoned off to some other state for elections? I honestly believe if you people are alleging a chief minister of siphoning of 700 crores, I can only imagine how much the prime minister of a central government might have done. In all these state elections so far that they
Lakshmi
have won.
Gowda, just respond to that. We'll have to quickly wrap this political face-off. Lakshmi Gowda, last response to you.
You
Quickly.
people who have done it, and that's why
the chief minister himself is involved in such a big, gigantic scam like Muda scam. And he has agreed to that in a testament to the scam he is involved in. He has written, he has tried to written all the sites given by, allotted by Muda.
When has he agreed to that, Lakshmi? I think you should speak with evidence. Till now, Chief Minister has only denied the allegations, never agreed to it. These are only allegations.
Okay.
Agreed that the amount involved in
that
the scam,
exchange will
involved in that Valmiki Corporation scam is not actually 187 crores. It is actually 89 crores. It is once again the testament given by him.
There are points that have been raised by both sides, questions that have been raised by both sides. We'll have to see how this plays out in the coming days in terms of... Quickly, 10 seconds each.
They have asked ED to probe into it. They have left IT department to probe into it. And still they are holding on to the same. Let them take the action if it is proved. It's just ifs and buts, and when elections
Lakshmi Gowda, your last 10 seconds.
Prime Minister always does these kind of...
They're saying the Congress is saying there is no proof of the scam. Lakshmi Gowda, last 10 seconds.
The Chief Minister, the so-called the champion of the social justice, should cooperate in the investigation done by ED department. As he himself involved in the Muda scam, and he has to cooperate and he has to agree. He has to take the cognizance of the fact that his family, his Congress
clearly.
The core issues of what we started this conversation as always seem to have gotten diluted and diverted, but we'll have to put an end to this conversation for want of time. Thank you too for joining us, but from that political slugfest now to what's perhaps an intellectual conversation in Tamil cinema, sparked off by actor Kamal Hassan. For decades, Tamil film and political personalities, remember, have had titles endowed upon them by their fans, a term of endearment, and the film industry itself, which often became the way they were referred to with reverence and respect. For instance, Kamal Hassan was referred to as Ulaganayagan, or the universal hero or actor. Today, he's decided just Kamal or Kamal Hassan or KH is enough for him. In a letter expressing gratitude for the endearing titles endowed on him, he has said, and I quote, "It's my humble belief that an artist must not be elevated above the art, and I prefer to remain grounded," unquote. He further adds, and I quote, "Please know this decision comes from a place of humility, not wanting to set off a controversy of sorts." Tamil cinema and politics, remember, have been known, as I mentioned, for titles to important personalities like Puratchi Talaivar or revolutionary leader for M.G. Ramachandran, the late Chief Minister, Nadigar Tilagam, or the pride of actors for Sivaji Ganesan, Kalaignar or artist for the late M. Karunanidhi, Puratchi Talaivi or revolutionary leader for a woman for J. Jayalalitha, of course superstar as we all know for Rajnikant, and Talabadi or general for Vijay. Even several directors, lyricists, music directors are referred to by their titles and not their names in popular discourse. So is it time perhaps for actors to get over their titles? What does it refer? Does it show the larger-than-life image? Joining us this evening, noted entertainment journalist Lata Srinivasan, who's followed and studied Tamil cinema very closely. Also actor Sanjana Galrani for a film world perspective. Lata, first up to you. I mean, we're a generation which grew up referring to Rajnikant as the superstar or MGR as Puratchi Talaivar. Is it time to move on from the title that have been endowed upon actors? As Kamal says, he'd like to remain grounded. What do you think? Should the rest take the lead? Should the society take a lead from what Kamal Hassan's saying?
Good evening, Virag. I think that's a good question, but as you know, in South India, giving an epithet for an actor is something which is usually bestowed on by fans and by directors themselves. For instance, Kamal Hassan got the moniker Ulaganayagan from director K.S. Ravikumar in 2000, with whom he worked with, and Superstar was bestowed on Rajnikant by another producer, who he's done numerous films. Today, you have global star Ram Charan, you have rebel star Prabhas. So I think these are monikers which the fans bestow on them, and it's not something that'll easily go away. It's part of the culture here and the fandom in South cinema.
Interesting that you say that. Remember, let's not forget that largely, and if history, it comes from the old Dravidian movement itself in terms of titling big actors and stars. For instance, Purachi Talaivar, the title to MGR was apparently given by M. Karunanidhi himself. Sanjana Galrani, is this all part of creating that fan universe for a star? What do you think of stars who may want to walk beyond that? Even young stars now who are coming into Tamil or South Indian cinema, as Lata was pointing out, have their titles and their ceremonious, surnames given to them.
I think this is a culture all across India, not just in South India. Like for Shah Rukh Khan, you would call him the king of Bollywood, or you would call him King Khan. And for Salman Khan, you would call him Bollywood ka Badshah, box office ka Badshah. So we have those titles doing the rounds with the fans, and it's their eternal love, And on the other hand, what is happening is people are also getting more realistic by the time, It's very overwhelming for them to, with Talapati Vijay, he was always called Ilaya Talapati, the Prince King. That's what it means in English. But now
that was when N.K. Stalin was called Talapati in the DMK.
Yeah, but now he switched to, no, don't call me Ilaya because I'm not that young. I'm not Prince, but we still, with love, call him Talapati Vijay itself, because Vijay is a common name. Many Vijays are there in the industry, but the second you say Talapati Vijay, it's just the one and only Talapati Vijay we are referring to, whom we all love. And in South India, they also have a culture. Like I have worked with all these superstars, with Mohanlal sir, with Mammootty sir, with Shiraj Kumar, with Darshan, with Prabhas, and I have seen them. People don't look, with Pawan Kalyan especially, I was spellbound when I was at the audio release. People are like moving like a cyclone wave over there inside a 5-star hotel, not even in an open ground in the convention hall. And I was like, what is happening? And I had Kajal Agarwal next to me, and I looked at him like, is this how it happens all the time with all the superstars? Because she's worked with more superstars than me. She's like, Sanjana, this is one of a kind. And people just believe that their superstar, their superhero is God for real. And I have seen it. I've got goosebumps on the stage. I remember meeting Rajnikant sir at the Kochadian audio release. People would tear their clothes when the star comes in front, That's the kind of eternal love that these actors get here. And they also have temples on their names. Not only actors, even actresses. These days, the number of temples have come down, but in the initial days, the previous generation, say about 10 years ago, you would have so many actresses who have temples after their names which are built. People are emotional. They have pure love in
for
their
instance,
hearts.
Nayanthara is called Lady Superstar now, Lata. In a sense, it's about immortalizing. It's also part of the business of the film world in terms of developing that fan cult, which works as a business thing as well, right? So how do we, the actor, the star, and then there is that person as well. I think the point Kamal Hassan's trying to make is that don't make me bigger than what I am. It should be about my films and my work, not about my stardom. How do we see that? I mean, it's a fine, nuanced, intellectual point.
But in Kamal Hassan's case, especially now that he's also a politician, I think his strategy is to project himself more as a politician than just as a universal hero. Because in 2018, when he stepped into politics, he said, now I'm Nammavar, that is one among you. Don't call me Ulaganayagan. That was what he started with in 2018 when, he set out with his political party.
Political aspirations.
Yes, today he's all set to become an MP. He's going to the next phase. He's going to be representing Tamil Nadu in Parliament. So I think strategically it works for him
Realities.
to be as a politician rather than just as an actor, because he wants to present himself as a serious politician rather than just a universal hero who everybody knows that he, is talented and can do anything in the world. But today he has to step into the world of politics more seriously, and I think this is a strategy on his part as well.
Right, interesting that you say that. In fact, it's a very important point. But Sanjana, since you're the one who has dabbled in the film world amongst, for several years, in private too, do they get referred to by their names? Because we know in public stages, most of the big stars are referred to by these ceremonious titles, right? But in private too, is that the way they are referred to in the sets? How does that work? Just give us a bit of an insight.
In private, nobody even talks to them loudly or call them. It's impossible to call them by their names. So it's like, you call them sir or you with great dignity. And there's a lot of formality even to reach out to talk about a casual point. That is how I have worked, at least. I don't get too casual with my co-stars. For me, it's doing my work. I'm like, how are you, sir? Nice meeting you. But if, of course, the superstar is younger with Prabhas and all, it was like, hi, Prabhas, how are you? Because we were younger. But when it comes to working with the demigods, like maybe Kamal sir, Rajani sir, we would all call them sir. But when you go to these public events, then they get called out with Rebel Star ki jai or Tadapati ki jai or Ulaganayakan ki jai in Tamil. There are those glorious moments where you'll feel so overwhelmed with the way people are sending out so much love and calling them by their most famous names or most famous titles.
Right, right. Interesting that you say that, because in Kamal's statement as well, he says he thanks the audience and the society for endowing these endearing titles on him, but he's decided to walk out. We'll have to walk off this conversation for want of time. Thank you too for joining us here. We'll keep that interesting conversation going perhaps online. But now to a quick check of the economic realities of Andhra Pradesh. The Chandrababu Naidu-led TDP, JSP, BJP coalition government's first budget was presented in the State Assembly by Finance Minister P. Keshav. It was as much a political statement alleging that the state was left in ruins by the earlier Jagan Mohan Reddy government as it was a reflection of the state's economic road ahead. Uma Sudhir with the details.
So a lot of interest generated by the budget presented by Andhra Pradesh Finance Minister Mr. Payyavula Keshav, because this was the full budget that was being presented for 2024-25 after two vote-on accounts in a financial year that saw a change in the political leadership of the state as well. Payyavula Keshav presented a 2.94 lakh crore size of budget, and he spoke about the financial condition of the state, saying that the previous government had left it in very dire straits because of multiple reasons, that there was misallocation of resources, that the finances were spent wrongly, and that money was diverted from capital expenditure